No joy. Target intact.
Respect your elders. Call me OG one more game, I dare you.
I had to give in to their demands to keep us safe.
Elaborate.
Listen, I snitched, I ratted.
So this is gonna be a normal intro because usually I'm late to the party and I have some excuse or explanation, but I'm not even late. Sentenced to Be a Hero English dub literally just dropped like not too long ago. Dark fantasy where low-life criminals are heroes and the divine goddesses are mass power of destruction and the only wishes the fairies grant is death? So we got Xylo, a royal knight who's on trial for killing a goddess, but he had no choice. She was weak and powerless, minutes away from getting corrupted by the demon blight. If the demons are able to use the goddess's power, humanity is cooked. But the church, their higher ups, government, whatever you want to call it, they in cahoots with the demons and call themselves coexisters. Kind of feeling like reality TV, but they basically orchestrated this whole thing and wanted the goddess to be corrupted. But Xylo ends up ruining their plans and they sentence him to be a penal hero, which is a special team of criminals that are put in the front lines in the war against the demons. They're basically like the Suicide Squad, except they won't get a reduced sentence for battle or be granted death because they're literally immortal. If they die in battle, they'll get resurrected just to go die again and again. And the worst part is, after each resurrection, bits of their memories are lost little by little till they're a walking zombie, just awaiting orders to go on more suicide missions. Lucky for Xylo, this mission is not one of those. All he has to do is help these royal knights retreat from the battle, but he's too busy scolding his partner, Dota, who gets his rocks off from stealing. You know, those calyps. Siri. What's that word for people who has an uncontrollable urge to steal?
People who experience an uncontrollable urge to steal are called kleptomaniacs.
See, that's what I said. But he done stole a random coffin from the Royal Knights transport team, which turns out to have a goddess in it. Then a horn sounds reminding Xylo that he's supposed to be helping these Royal Knights retreat. But Dota refuses to help and Xylo gives him a speech while niggas are still screaming in agony.
Would you say that of our slain comrades? What about their lives? Were they meaningless? They were not! Their memory serves as an example to us all! The courageous fallen! The anguished fallen!
Xylo's words of courage and bravery has awoken the goddess Terrorita.
It is your courage that has made you worthy of a goddess.
If you don't get that bullshit out of my face, bitch.
So Xylo declines since he got this. He's basically Gambit if he had knives for cards.
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
And Terrorita is following him, still demanding Xylo to be her knight and use her powers. He saves the Royal Knights without using her powers, but they not so stoked about it since they were saved by a penal hero who are seen as nothing more than low-life pieces of shit.
Saved by his kind?
So Xylo is contacted by Venetim on comms and informs him that the main unit of the Royal Knights are not attempting to retreat. Captain Kivia is headed straight for the Demon Blight with her unit, offers something called honor. Her honor is blinding her from the fact that the hero's main purpose is to repeatedly throw their lives away in the front lines.
I will not waver. We fight!
Alright, shorty, whatever. So Xylo pushes up on Captain Kivia, pressing her on while she's trying to take his job. Then she presses Xylo on why he has the goddess.
I haven't made a pact yet.
But obviously a situation is bound to happen where he's forced to make a pact.
I would rather die.
Buddy, you are immortal? So he ends up making a pact with Terrorita and she's the goddess of swords and uses about 25% of the budget, then conjures up a giant sword and Xylo launches it into the Demon Lord. Which is still not enough. Dota, who had disappeared earlier, happens to come back and conveniently stole a nuke from the Royal Knights off impulse, which Xylo uses to defeat the Demon Lord. And Xylo can't even enjoy his victory, Kivia trying to expose him.
He killed a goddess.
You know it's not gonna hit because you already told him what his crime was, right? Okay, so whatever. That mission and their next two suicide missions were so much of a success, some people want Terrorita dead. And Xylo and Terrorita might have given the final blows on those missions, but Tatsuya, the isekai mindless zombie, was holding his own in that tunnel, guarding the fortress. And he ain't that mindless since he's able to navigate the system. Even Norgal, the Delulu King, going crazy. Bro sacrificed his own leg, and I ain't gonna lie, you could draft me to the war if I'm following this nigga Norgal to battle. Can I even say that? Because the nigga not that ass. I'm just trying to convey how good of a leader this nigga was. Because I'd rather castrate myself than get drafted.
Too late.
With the first pick in the 2026 U.S. Draft,
The Army Select walk from this YouTube video.
My point is, the coexisters shouldn't just worry about Terrorita. The whole Pino Hero squad is a hindrance. Like, imagine taking Venetum out of the equation. But I guess, just go after the MC's powerful goddess that can conjure up a holy sword that destroys any demon. But Xylo gets warned by 3 different people. First, he wakes up to the Amanda Waller of the Pino Heroes, and he warns them about the coexisters. Then Kivia warns him. Then lastly, he's warned by his fiance Frenchie.
My former fiancée.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
He was tripping, bruh. You got a real one on you. She deadass trying to get you a party, and you bugging. So a little bit later while shopping, an attempt was made on Terrorita's life. But Kivia and Sav handles them. With more assassins approaching, they choose to run into an alley, and one of the assassins ends up taking care of Sav, then gets hot by Kivia and Xylo. Then the demon lord Boojum appears, telling the assassin to stand down. Boojum really a chill guy that's just following orders. Just don't interrupt him while he's talking.
It's rather rude to interrupt, don't you see?
Xylo and Boojum scrap for a little bit, but since this not the finale, Jace pulls up to stop the tease.
Loader 2-0, good copy. Buster strike away. No joy, target intact.
I will be taking my leave now.
So they start investigating to see who could have hired them and find out it was this guildmaster. And Xylo comes up with the worst plan possible. Shouldn't have even worked if the guildmaster ignored them. But he sends his little siblings to take care of them, and it doesn't go as planned.
24 is not Unc. Respect your elders, little nigga. Call me OG one more game, I dare you.
So the kids got cooked. Now all he gotta do is follow his own directions.
We need to keep our heads low and quietly leave the city.
But he couldn't even do that and get separated from his sister. And Dota grabs him. Now he in there snitching, giving up everything. Names, the intricacy details on how he meets up with the coexisters, how they got him looped around their finger, and he's telling them all this for the free. No bat, dentist tray, weapons, ball gag, or Popeyes in sight. But Boojum gets a boss call to tie up loose ends, so he hires the niggas the guildmaster hired, and they blow up his establishment, which gives him a chance to escape and meet up with his sister.
I had to give in to their demands to keep us safe.
Elaborate.
Listen, I snitched, I ratted.
Yuri?
The demon lord that took over his sister's body, not too sure when or how long the demon been in there, but the demon's in there and killed the rest of his siblings and him. All he had to do was not snitch. So for their final battle or their last suicide mission, Xylo and Terrorita kills Boojum with the holy sword.
He's wielding the world-ending holy sword.
But he apparently didn't even die somehow. But for that last mission, the whole Pino Hero was deployed. Even Ryan, the final member of the Pino Hero, who volunteered himself to be one, just so he can torment other demons. Yes, he's a demon lord himself. But everyone was here except Kivia, the first time she's not in the front lines trying to LARP as a hero. She had more important matters to take care of. She'd been investigating after the guildmaster ratted. Literally, the guy he met up with was the high priest of the church, and also Kivia's uncle. I ain't gonna lie, you can't use it there either, cause you ain't even introduced him to the uncle. But after finding this out, she tells her most trusted soldier,
In case something happens to me, there's something you need to know.
Then she goes to confront the uncle, and Unc is on some KD shit talking about, if you can't beat them, join them, and if you against us, you die, forcing Kivia to offer on uncle. It is what it is, it had to be done, but this does not look good. You done killed the high priest in his own office. They 100% spinning this. Good thing you told your trusted soldier about everything. Where is he? Oh, you said you brought him with you and he became collateral?
Nice.
I sentence you to be a hero.